Thank you.
All right, folks, now we switch gears from hard negotiations to anything goes. Thousands of reporters are here in South Florida this week, and one of the newest members of the press corps is a recently retired 20-year NFL veteran who played in 2 Super Bowls. That would be Junior Seau. This Tuesday, he swapped his pads for a press credential and attended the annual Hype Fest known as Super Bowl Media Day.
Hi, I'm Junior Seau here at Media Day, the biggest stage of Super Bowl 44 in Miami. Stay tuned, we got a lot to come.
What's up, dude?
What's happening?
What's going on?
Here at Media Day, what you have is all the players always have to answer questions. I'm gonna see how they handle the pressure when I interview them. Let's check it out. Would you like to see your role grow? All right, hypothetically, let's just play the drama game.
What is the first thing you're gonna do with that ring?
Put it on. Yeah.
We know that Peyton always throws out audibles that aren't our decoys. Now, what are you going to do to combat that?
I don't know, Junior. What should I do? I mean, you played against him.
Well, fellas, this is part of the game, you know, the waiting game. Showtime. I'm here waiting for all of you guys for a breeze. Breeze will be here in about 20 minutes. That'll be an hour. Who is your role model as a wide receiver?
Eric Martin from the Saints. Breeze always say he can catch a BB in the dark.
How are they going to cover you with the rest of the threats, with the running game and everything else?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wish we'd know. If you know, would you tell me?
Oh, I wouldn't. Buddy, what's up, bro? In terms of the lives in New Orleans, how does that affect you, or does it affect you?
No, it does. It actually is a great source of strength for us and our team, just knowing that, you know, we're playing for much more than just, you know, another W or a Super Bowl for our organization. It's a Super Bowl for our city.
What keeps you so humble?
Oh, Jay, I just, you know, like you, I just feel fortunate to still be playing at this point in my career. I've had so many guys help me along the way.
If you were grading me right now, of interviewing you, what would my grade be? A B or A? I'm not even going to go order.
Well, I'm going to say that you're very calm and collected and you know what you're saying, so I would definitely give you an A, and I would give you an A+ because you're a former Dolphins player.
Cut. Take it. Done.
And joining us now is our Media Day roving reporter and connoisseur of quarterback sacks, other than Warren Sapp, of course. That would be Junior Seau. 20 years. I mean, you've heard an awful lot of questions that we were just discussing before we went on the air about maybe the dumbest question ever asked in Super Bowl history back when Doug Williams was playing quarterback for the Redskins. Were you concerned that you might have asked what you know your guys would have thought was a stupid question?
You know, I'm sitting next to Sapp, and he's giving me a smile. He knows darn well that, you know, we're easy to throw out some dumb questions.
Right.
But the fact here is it was very humbling. It really was.
Really?
It was very humbling, and I'm telling you, I was nervous.
Humbling how?
It was humbling just to go out and just get out of your realm. You know, here we are as football players. We think we have all the answers. But I guarantee you, you flip that around, we have no questions.
No questions.
We have no questions. It's amazing when you go to a player, you know, he has all the answers.
Right.
Won't you ask a question? That just means you got to just sit back, stay humble, and ask questions that have some kind of substance.
Right.
You know, and it was very important to kind of be physical. I got in there, I was kind of nervous, you know, but you had to be aggressive. These guys, these little short guys, are throwing elbows. They were throwing elbows. I don't know what it was, but they got me in some in the ribs and everything else. I'm telling you, I have a lot of respect for all you reporters. If I let you down in the locker room, I am sorry. All right? I would never let that happen again. I'm asking.
Y'all reporters? Did you retire?
Oh, those retired, buddy. I love those reporters.
Where do you thought
I love those reporters.
Where do you thought Warren was campaigning for the Hall of Fame? We got a whole new one down here.
All right, let's move and talk about the game, and we're going to let you guys talk about that since you guys have been there. But give me your opening thoughts about the matchup, the Saints and the Colts.
I have to start off with New Orleans. If New Orleans have a chance, they have to establish that run. Because what that run does, it keeps Peyton Manning on the sideline, which is probably the best defense you can have against that guy, and it controls the clock. With Drew Brees and his threats down the field, and a running game that is balanced is the only way that they have a chance of competing with a guy that can sling it down the field all day long.
Yeah. Well, since I'm doing the game, I'm just going to give this opinion. You know, so much has been said about the Colts all week. Every interview I do, it's Peyton Manning, the offense, and nobody talks about the New Orleans Saints. But I think back to that game against the Minnesota Vikings, the way they won, nobody really gave them much credit for it. You know, I think it was a good thing that they won that way, because I think it really focuses them. I think they come in here with a little bit of an attitude, and that always helps in preparation. It'll be interesting if they can carry it over to the game.
The story is always Peyton Manning. I mean, there's no way around it. And for the New Orleans Saints, if I could give them a bit of advice, it would be wary of what you see on film and you think you can take advantage of. I go back to the championship game, and typically plays like the middle read with Austin Collie going down the middle of the field against those split safeties, and Peyton's going to try and lob it in over the top. Well, that's what they showed on film, but they ran an out route out of it, and he hit it for a big play. And then they came right back the next play, and they came down and faked the out route and then ran the middle read, and he hit that for a big play. There were so many instances. They came with a double barrel blitz, which for the Colts means a quick screen to the wide receiver and get the ball out there to take advantage of no pursuit. Well, instead he fakes the quick screen and he throws the go down the middle of the field. So what you're studying and what you think you can take advantage of, he's studying as well, and he is going to burn you because you think you know what you're doing.
Chess match.
It's the ultimate cat and mouse game, and that's exactly where it begins at Peyton Manning. But I tell you what, Greg Williams and this Saints defense, if they can some kind of way calm everybody's nerves down to be able to hold that defense to 6 seconds on that clock, you can give Peyton Manning looks that he hasn't never seen before, and he'll have to figure it out on the fly. And if you can get that done to him, you got a shot in this ball game.
One of the things that we have to look at is the red zone. The Colts are very good in the red zone. If you can get them to go half, 50% in the red zone, you have a chance. Let them kick the field goal. Don't give them the touchdown. I'm going to stick with that red. That red zone is key when it comes down to the Colts. The Colts, when they have the whole field, they're a great team. When they get down into the red zone, you have a chance. They have a smaller field to play with.
They red zone started at 35, Junior.
Yeah, it started at 35 on the other side.
35
I understand that, but the fact here is giving up the field goal over a touchdown is a key factor. And I'm saying this, as defenses, defense do not quit. Do not quit. When you're in the red zone, do not quit. You have a chance. You still have a chance.
We talked so much about Dwight Freeney. I just want to get a quick thought from you on his either absence or playing, obviously not at full strength. And then give me a score as to who you think will win.
Dwight Freeney, I talked to him today. He's very positive in terms of, playing in the game. He gave me a little shot, and I said to him, buddy, how many shots is it going to take for you to get on the field? And he kind of chuckled, which means that he will play. I know you're laughing at that, Seau, but he will play. Every man will play during the course of this type of game. And I honestly got to say that, with Freeney in the game, it's not going to be 100% Freeney. All right, Mathis is going to have to take up the load, and he will.
Score, who's winner?
Score, I'm going to go 28-24. I'm going to go with my heart, not my brain, but my heart. New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay.
I look at Dwight Freeney and I look at his words. I'm going to let the coaches, the doctors, if it was the day, how effective I could be as for my team, scratch him for Sunday's game, Saints win. 24-21.
Wow, okay. Wow. Mr. Chris Collinsworth, boy, he's struggling with this.
No, you know why he's struggling?
Why?
Because he thinks everybody's going to pick Indy, and he wanted to
He wanted to go long. He wanted to go long.
That's what it is.
He had it all set up.
Oh, yeah.
You're a lot smarter than you look. Here's what I think of the game. I really think the Saints, to win it, have to be able to play man coverage, tight man coverage on the outside and take away the quick throws. I like their corners. I think they can match up. I like Jonathan Vilma inside. He's a good cover guy. They have all the ability to square up, and the fact that Freeney's injured and all those things. But in my heart, I still look at Peyton Manning as the premier player in the league. And I just don't know, when the game comes down to those final 4 minutes, like it always does with the Colts, or it seems like it does this season. They've been behind so many times in the fourth quarter, and he's always won it. And I'd be surprised if he didn't win it again. I like the Colts 31-28.
Phil Simms is actually doing the Super Bowl, as we well know, but he whispered in my ear. He told me to let everyone know the final score will be 28-24, and he likes Super Bowl 44, of
Yes.
course, is the most watched showdown in America.